Hi, I'm Lorato of Lorato Foods and Naturals. Today we're cooking paella with sweet peppers, smoky mushrooms and moin moin. Now what is moin moin? Bean dish made with black-eyed beans. They're soaked, washed, peeled and then ground with peppers and spices. Moin moin is popular across West Africa and one of my personal favorites growing up. In this dish, it makes the perfect substitute to tofu. Traditionally, the ground beans are intricately wrapped in banana leaves, stacked up in a pot with a little water at the bottom and steamed. While that's all very ceremonial and wonderful and creates really delicious moin moin, it's quite tedious and not all of us can achieve that quite regularly. I regularly cook with the Love Moin Moin mix as it's super nutritious, delicious and high in protein. Now it's paella time, let's get cooking. To start, pour the moin moin mix into a large bowl. Whisk in 600 ml of water. Stir gently. Once that's thoroughly mixed, prepare a baking dish. Pour your mix into an oiled and lined tray with greaseproof paper, like I've done here. And bake in a preheated oven at 200 degrees for 40 to 50 minutes. Once cooked, leave it to cool and set for about 10 minutes. And let's get started on our paella. I'm just going to cut up these chestnut mushrooms. You can use any of your favorite mushrooms, by the way. I've got about 300 grams of mushrooms. Heat 2 tablespoons of olive oil in a large wide pan. Add the sliced onion and cook for about 2 minutes before we add our chopped mushrooms. At this stage, the mushrooms will start to extract moisture into the onions. Now add your smoked paprika and give it a good stir. This will impart a really wonderful smoky flavor into our onions and mushrooms. Next, add finely chopped garlic and our sweet peppers that have been sliced. I've used a combination of 1 red pepper and 1 yellow pepper. Now we're going to add our chopped tomatoes. I've got 5 chopped tomatoes here. Give it all a good mix and then leave it to reduce for about 5 minutes. Just look at that. Now pour in your paella rice or any short grain rice that you have. I'm using 300 grams of rice here and I've got 800 ml of vegetable stock, but I'm only going to use 500 now and save the other 300 for later. Mix well, as this is the only time you'll be allowed to stir your paella. And how dare I forget the all-important saffron. I've crumbled in just over half a gram of saffron. Cook the paella on high heat for 8 minutes, as we want the bottom of the rice to develop that char that the Spanish call sucarat. Gently remove the moin moin from the baking dish and cut it up into nice small cubes. I'm going to add about half of the moin moin. Now our rice has been cooking for about 8 minutes. It needs another 8 to 10 minutes. Now we're going to add the 300 ml that I left in the beginning. We're just going to give it a nudge. Just a slight nudge so the moin moin can absorb those flavors as well. For a final touch, turn down the heat and add frozen peas. Spread it all around and then cover your paella to cook for a final 5 minutes. Just look at those colors. Serve after 5 minutes and you can add a squeeze of lemon. And there you have it, a paella with sweet peppers, mushrooms and moin moin. I hope you've enjoyed this recipe, and of course don't forget to try the Love Moin Moin mix for this recipe and many more plant-based recipes at home.